There's no law which was guaranteeing clean, safe and healthy environment until we had our constitution in 2010. And in Article 42 in the constitution, the Bill of Rights, puts it so clearly that every Kenyan has got a right to clean, safe and secure environment. It's not just a right. Section Article 69 again comes and says, no, what, you have a responsibility to join government in securing that right. So it's a right, but it's also a responsibility. So the Bill of Rights gives you the right, but Article 69 and 71 gives you the responsibility as a citizen to make a contribution to that clean environment. We have attitude at the public level and attitude at the national level or government level, whereby at the public level, people say environment is just takataka, ni waste. And by the way, when we were in school, we were told, nyinyi mnasoma, you are studying to go and sweep streets. You are studying to go and plant trees, but that's not all. So attitude itself, and then in the government we have the bureaucracy, whereby it takes so long for something to get approved, and this discourages because now it's raining. You'll realize that if you start requesting for money now, by the time you get money to go plant trees in Mau, the rains have stopped. So the bureaucracy, another thing is the lack of capacity. And lack of capacity, I'm saying that because in the environmental circle, we have so many people who are just passionate, but they don't have the capacity. There are so many people who plant trees, they don't even know how to plant trees. 3/4 of trees die, not because they are not taken care of, but they die because they were poorly planted. And then that brings me to something called tree planting and tree growing. So many people plant trees, they don't grow trees. Another challenge is just corruption, which we know at the big money level, because I will say that there is a research which was done called RED+, status of RED+, something in Kenya by KFES and Associated and UNDP, and they realized one key issue was lack of accountability and transparency in handling climate change funds. Nobody knows how much Kenya gets from climate change, where these funds have gone, what they have done, and who is responsible for their use or non-use. So those are some of the challenges which we face as a nation. And also the international influence. When America says we are pulling, everybody runs out of the environmental sector and says, oh, money is no longer here. So it's money. Some people are seeing this as money. Very few people take this as passion. And that's why I say that so many organizations which are working in an environment, they're not genuine. People are just coming and saying, you know what, environment now, there's money. You can do a proposal, it takes 1 week to get your money. You go plant 500 trees where you had budgeted for 10,000. Where do you take the rest of the money? And this even at county level. Another thing is prioritization. Environment is as an issue to government, even to the counties. Most counties see it as a consumer sector, whereby it's just a matter of chewing. It's not like a health, whereby you say you are investing this to save life. Trees, people do not even understand what trees are for, even environment itself. So when you budget, when you make a requisition, it will be sliced. You'll be told now you are requesting for 20,000 trees. For what? So you'll be given 2,000 trees, and that's not enough. So lack of prioritization is another challenge. Ecas was founded on the basis that people are ignorant about the environment, people are ignorant about climate change. So they'll need, and then there are very few organizations that does capacity building and awareness creation on climate change, environment, and also even sustainable development. So people are not aware of these things. So I just sat down, and then a process that we began with a number of my friends, like in Lea Gishu, Kieri, Kogala, and we used to ask ourselves, found ourselves free in a policy-making forum. And where are young people? When we asked, we were told young people do not want to come here because they are intimidated, because they are ignorant. So we said, okay, why don't we have an organization that does low cost? So Ecas is working in two. We have the main capacity building component, but we also have youth empowerment component, where youth empowerment component, we are running a program called Green Skills Program. We pick fresh graduates, but also we bring back down to third year. We pick young people who are excited about climate change, environment, and will want to work in environment-based sectors where they'll be making contribution to sustainable development. So we pick these young people, train them on some of the job opportunities, employment opportunities, and self-realization opportunities. Once we train them, we give them opportunity to be nurtured. So we nurture them in this component, but we also have the bigger component where we do monthly trainings with the help of the University of Nairobi Institute for Climate Adaptation, which is our partner. So we build young people to be technical experts, because our theme is to build, Ecas theme is to build climate change and environmental expertise, so that we have so many people who know about environment, so many people about climate change, so that climate change will no longer be a mystery to even the professionals themselves. It's open to everyone. It's open, though in the Green Skills Program we focus on the environmental people who have got qualified environmentalists, because now people say, once you do environment, where will you work? People tell you go and look for a job in Denmark. But there are so many opportunities, so many employment opportunities that once you study environment, you can go work. So we limit it to environment, but the big training is for everyone. The negotiations, there's a rule that a dot is a dot to Kenyan, but it might mean a comma in China. So when you follow from 1964, when environment began with Rachel Carson, when she did a book on riverine and the impact of pollution on nature, then we had our, during the Stockholm Conference in 1972, when we had our UNEP was formed and it was brought to Kenya in 1987, when we had the Brundtland Commission, 92, when we had the Rio Conference, when we had in 97, when we had the Kyoto Protocol, 2002, the Millennium Summit. It's a journey until we now came and said, now we have the Paris Agreement. So it's an agreement which is a result, an outcome of long years of torturous negotiations. Then people say now, so the COPs, the COPs are conference of the parties. The current COPs are no longer about negotiations. People are talking about how do we go forward? How do we implement the agreement? Everybody says climate change is expensive, right? But now what's the budget? It's expensive. What's the budget? Because people say, when you read reports even by the IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, UNFCCC reports, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, you read World Bank reports, they say it's expensive. What is expensive is adaptation. It's so difficult to change from the business as usual scenario to the new thing, which will be reducing climate change. Because we are told now climate change, if we don't do anything by 2050, if the climate change rises to 2 degrees, we are done. Now it's 1.5. So we have to retain it at 1.5 and below, and not 2 degrees. So on finances, the Paris Agreement, there's an agreement, commitment by countries to mobilize $100 billion US dollars to tackle climate change. The private sector also committed to the same amount. And I think by last week, 2 weeks ago, I read somewhere where private sector was almost hitting that target. So money is there. We have adaptation funds in Kenya. We have the green climate finance. We have counties are developing climate change adaptation. We have the laws, Climate Change Act. We are well off. So we should not be looking at money, but mine, like I've said, that what drives me is knowledge. Give everybody information, and you do not need money to do anything. Because if you are given that 100 billion, what will you do with it if you are not ready for it? So there's also the readiness aspect. Is Kenya ready to get climate change funds? To do what? What are we going to do? Is the public ready? Or are we just going to do the same thing we have done with the NGO mentality of the money is here, let's rush, get it? So the climate finance is very interesting, but I will say that let's not focus on the money, but focus on what we can do at country level, county level, and at individual level.